I'm a bit of a heretic. I like to go over the line. I like to push boundaries. That's what I do. I'm really good at it. But I also have learned that I want to aim for like 10% over the line.
Right. Not extreme.
So I'm not hammering people with the disruption. I mean, there are moments where I definitely will say something very directly to people because that's sometimes the easiest way to do it. One of my clients said, I love the way you kick me in the ass and pat me on the head at the same time. Because I really I love people. I love people and I love my work. And there's nothing better than seeing someone blossom.
Welcome back to Rise and Tell with Sheekha. I am Sheekha Singh, your host and author. I have got something special to share. My brand new book, Unburnable Ambition, How Overachievers Win Without Burning Out. This book is for all of us who dream big but refuse to let burnout be the price. Head to sheekhaSingh.com/unburnableambition and sign up today. Now let's dive into today's episode. Our guest for today is Katherine Lazaruk. Her vibe was so infectious. I just enjoyed my 30-minute conversation with her, and she had such amazing insights for us. I learned a lot, especially about image and your body image and how do you present yourself out into the world. Katherine comes from a performance and education background with bachelor's degree in music and education from University of British Columbia. Before starting her business in 2007, she divided her time between singing in the opera and teaching music to primary school students. And then she also did a stint in corporate training at one of the big 5 accounting firms. Katherine now holds certificates in image consulting and advanced image consulting from the International Image Institute here in Ontario, Canada, and her second level international designation as a certified image professional with the Association of Image Consultants International, and 2 coaching certifications, certified leadership coach with Essential Impact and professional certified coach with International Coach Federation. Katherine helps professional women and men learn how to walk, talk, act, and look like leaders. She describes a lot about how image only matters where it matters. She started, in addition to having her executive coaching and consulting practice, Katherine has been an instructor with the image consulting programs at Langara College, trained consultants for Dress for Success Vancouver, and has served on the Canada chapter board of a professional association. She currently serves as the Education Subcommittee Chair with AICI's Global Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. She's just awesome. Before you leave, go check out her website, LZRKconsulting.com, and I'm pretty sure you're going to learn tons from this too. So without further ado, let's just get started. So there you go, everybody. Today we have with us Katherine Lazaruk. Katherine, welcome to our show. It's a pleasure to have you on our show today.
Well, it's great to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Of course, of course. So we'll just dive right in, Katherine. I am super impressed with everything that I read about you. And that's why I wanted to thank you first before anything, because I was so excited to have you on the show with us and to discuss a lot of things. So why don't we just start with what made you get into the line of image consulting?
It was a divine download. I can't take any credit for it at all, except for the fact that I was in careers when I left school that were not quite the right fit. So I was teaching elementary school music and singing in the opera, and both of those careers have quite narrow parameters, and I'm not a very good small box person. But I didn't know that, so it took me 12 years and a lung tumor to figure out this was not the place for me. And when I was diagnosed, it was like, okay, I really don't like this work. What else is out there for me? And so I got some really wise advice from a counselor, and she said, don't think about the job you want, but think about the qualities you want your work to have. So I started to think about, okay, this is what I don't like. So what's the opposite of that? What would I like instead? So I had done a little bit of calling it in, but it wasn't until I was working with another coach where he literally looked at me and said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I had this vision, very clear, my company name and the first tagline I ever used, which was intensive care for your image. And the company name is ICU Image Consulting. And I just laughed. I'm like, that's not even a real job. Who does that job? And to his credit, he said, that is a real job and you could do that job. And because there's no regulation in my industry at all, like you could hang your shingle out tomorrow and say I'm an image consultant and nobody would blink. I thought, I look all right. I've read some books. I will get a website and some business cards and start practicing. So that's what I did. And 6 months after my diagnosis, the tumor was gone, and I had a job doing corporate training at PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is one of the big 5 accounting professional services firms in the world. And so I just built my business up around the sides. And when I was divinely ejected from PricewaterhouseCoopers in 2009 in the recession, I thought this is a great time to go full time in my image consulting business. And I thought, okay, then I need to get some training. So I came to Toronto and I worked at the International Image Institute with Karen Brunger. And she liked me. So I got my certifications with her for image consulting and advanced image consulting. And then, as I said, she liked me. So I interned, and then she made me her Western Canada image trainer.
Wow.
So when I started, in addition to my private practice, I was also teaching consultants how to be consultants at Langara, which is a college here in Vancouver, just simply because I'd had a lot of education and training experience and picked up the work very quickly. So my approach is kind of, I don't know if other people have approached it that way, but I strongly recommend now, I'm like, please, people, if you want to get into image consulting, please get some training, because it is such an intimately psychological type of work. And it is possible to do harm without knowing it if you don't know what you're doing. And so, speaking as one that probably didn't do such great work when I didn't have any training way back when, I'm like, please get some training.
Right.
So that's how I got into it. It was a complete divine inspiration.
Nice. Very inspirational, Catherine. I have to tell you that. And I'm glad that the tumor was gone. So that's amazing.
Me too.
I am intrigued for the listeners and viewers who have no idea what image consulting is. How would you describe it to us in like just a high level overview?
It's interesting that you say this, because I recently wrote in my newsletter, I have a weekly newsletter called Whole Notes, and I've been documenting this full circle moment that I've been having, where I started in image consulting. I went up, as my clients got promoted, they're like, we want you to come work with our executive teams, but we're tired of explaining to the people that write the checks that you're not really an image consultant. So we need you to change your name. And so I had changed my company name to LZRK Consulting, which is my name, easy to do, and had gotten into sort of the corporate space and executive coaching. And then I realized, what I do is it doesn't matter what you call it, whether you call it executive coaching or image consulting, it's all about identity. So my work is about helping you figure out who you are, what your purpose is on the planet, and then equipping you with the appropriate appearance, behavior, and communication skills for you to do whatever it is you're meant to do, like a rock star.
Wow. Love it. Okay. Love the brief explanation about what image consulting is. And I know you mentioned in the past, just before this answer, and you said you would recommend people that they get training before they even, get into this sort of consulting. Why do you say that? What's so important about getting a training, about talking to people about how they are and what they want in life?
I think the reason it's important is because, at least the way I practice this work, so not everybody practices image consulting the same way. I have friends who do corporate consulting. I have friends who talk about restaurant branding. I have friends who talk about fashion. There's different ways to practice this particular art. Right. The way that I practice it is so deep that there are some psychological landmines that you can trigger in people without even meaning to. And in my world, I'm a disruptor anyway. So I can be a very positive disturbance for people, but people have to be ready for that kind of work. And I would say that before I got my training, I didn't know how deep image really goes with somebody. So image is a surface thing. That's what we see, but it is not superficial. And one of the biggest things that I hear is like, well, that's nice to have. You don't need to have that. Or that's only for politicians and rock stars and celebrities. And the truth is that everybody who's here on the planet is here in human mystery school. And the sooner you figure out who you are and what you're supposed to do here, the easier it is to then figure out what skills gaps you have so you can actually fill those skills gaps and then get on with it. And I think so if you are considering this career and you don't have training, then it's very easy to get into deep waters and not be prepared to swim.
Right. Okay. Understood. So I'm actually dying to ask you a question. And so now that you've had a lot of clients and you've been in this industry for quite some time now,
Mhm.
and you've been doing this for a long time, does your clothes and your appearances, do they really matter?
It depends, is
Okay.
the answer to that. So what I say to everybody is I say image only matters where it matters. But where it matters, it really matters.
Okay.
There's two parts to that. I think image matters and your clothing matters because it's for you. In
Okay.
my opinion, whatever container you arrived here on the planet in is the perfect container to do whatever it is you're meant to do on the planet, which
Right.
means your container is a sacred vessel, it contains your purpose, and it deserves to be dressed with reverence as
Mm.
an expression of your soul. So image is important. It matters for you personally.
Okay.
And image also matters in certain situations in our world because if you're going for a particular job, like when I talk to people about it, I talk about my 3 C's framework, which is character, congruence, and choice.
Wow. Okay.
Character, who you are at 4 is who you are at 104. The core essence of you doesn't change, right? The
Right.
sooner you make friends with that, easier your life is going to roll. Same as your container.
Right.
The second part of that is congruence because we don't live in a vacuum. People have certain expectations of you. If you say, I am a financier, people will expect you to look a certain way. If you're a lawyer, they'll expect you to look a certain way. If
Right.
you are a Reiki master, if you show up to your Reiki session in a 3-piece suit, people might think that's a little strange. It
Right.
will be hard to understand. So there are certain places and times where paying attention to your image can absolutely help you get the job, get promoted, get what you want, get a date, get laid, right?
Yes.
It can absolutely help you because people are meaning making machines and they
Yeah.
have certain constructs. And so how much you match those constructs or challenge them can determine how much people see you as the person that you are or the
Correct.
person you want to be. And then the last C in my framework is choice, because I used to call it control because you have a great deal of control over the things that are in your sphere of influence. You absolutely can control your thoughts. You can control your emotions. You can control what clothing you put on. You can control how you speak. You can control how you act. You have a lot of control. But I think it's actually more important to recognize that you also have choices.
Yes.
You can choose how much you want to meet other people's expectations or not. You can choose how much you want to conform to society's expectations or not.
Right.
You choose. And the choice is dependent on how you feel about those constraints and also who you are as a person. So for me, for example, I'm a bit of a heretic. I like to go over the line. I like to push boundaries. That's what I do. I'm really good at it. But I also have learned that I want to aim for like 10% over the line.
Right. Right. Not
So I'm
extreme.
not
Right.
hammering people with the
Right.
disruption. I mean, there are moments where I definitely will say something very directly to people because that's sometimes the easiest way to do it. One of my clients said, she said, I love the way you kick me in the ass and pat me on the head at the same time. Because I really I love people. I love people and I love my work. And there's nothing better than seeing someone blossom
Yes.
into the confident, radiant person that they were when they came before
Right.
someone told them who they should be. So image only matters where it matters. If you are on vacation on a beach, wear the bikini. Sun
Yes.
is very good on your belly for your digestion, great for your circadian rhythms. Nobody cares about your cellulite. If you want to wear a mini skirt, wear it. If you want to be on the couch with your partner or your lover, whatever, it doesn't matter because then someone knows you well and they see your soul and that's great. But in the places where it matters, first impressions, workplaces, other professional situations, social situations, there are industries, for example, like there's a person that I know that works in private investment equity, and
Right.
displays of status are actually a thing.
A
Like the
big
right
thing.
watch, the
Yeah.
right belt, the right shoes can say quite a lot about whether or not you fit into that crowd.
Yeah.
So image only matters where it matters, but where it matters, it really matters.
I agree. I agree. And I come from the tech industry, and the first book that I'd written was about women in tech and why we need more women in tech.
Yeah. We need
So
more women everywhere in every industry. We need more women in leadership everywhere.
exactly. I agree. I agree. So I was in India for some event, and then I was giving this talk at a corporate event.
Mhm.
And one of the girls came back to me after the event and she's like, I just loved that point that you made on the torn jeans and the t-shirt. So what I ended up saying them is, Mark Zuckerberg can wear a gray t-shirt all his life. Nobody's going to question him. If he walks up on the stage and if he's saying, I'm releasing this X application today, people are going to be okay with it. Even if he doesn't wear anything, people will be okay with it. But if I walked in today with toned jeans and just a, sleazy top, you guys wouldn't be here listening to me for an hour just talking about things and communication and everything else. So I definitely agree. And I support that idea that, especially when it comes to certain places, you have to dress up a certain kind of way.
There
And
and there is a complete double standard.
yeah.
And actually, it was interesting the point you make about Zuckerberg. There is actually a study that talks about how image matters for men, and up until the earning point of about $250,000 a year, it really matters. But after that, it matters less.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about the tech industry, then you're looking at congruence, right? The expectations for dress code in the tech industry are not the same as the expectations for dress code in the banking industry. And so if a woman shows up in a torn jeans and a t-shirt, or torn jeans and a tank top, she's just going to have to spend more time explaining her credentials
Yes.
because
That is
it's
true.
not matching, right? And people love things to match. They love things to make sense. That when someone says to them, this is what I do, people are like, oh yeah, you look like that. It tracks. And all it is, like, I'm of two minds about it, because of course it'd be great not to judge a book by its cover. That would
Yes.
be fantastic. I would love
Yes.
to work myself out of a job. And that's not the world we currently live in.
True.
So it's a question of, like, how much do you want to uphold the world we live in, and how much do you want to challenge it? But also just giving some thought to, how much do I want to have to explain myself, or am I going to be kind to the people that I meet and actually look the part?
Yeah.
So I sometimes say to my people, I'm like, I help you, walk the walk, talk the talk, and look the part.
Mm.
And you need really
Nice.
all three of those things, and all three of those things need to be 100% aligned with who you actually are.
Correct.
And that's
Exactly.
what makes you magnetic. That's what makes people really respond to you, when you are completely aligned and authentic.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's so difficult to just, not spend time or not spend enough time on certain things and how you want to look. And I've seen that a lot with my friends too. Like, they will do tons and tons of different things. They'll take up additional responsibilities. They'll manage 100 different things in different projects. But the minute it comes to, okay, actually look like you are taking on X amount of projects and responsibilities, no, they'll just grab anything random out of their closet and just walk out of the
Mm,
house. And then, when if anyone's, to be honest, everyone judges you the minute you're stepping out of your house.
you do.
Everybody's judging you. And especially if you've
Yeah.
moved to a new neighborhood, color wise, race wise, you're very different, then definitely people are going to just not even give a second thought about, oh, they might be something else or they might be different. No, they are judging you based on how you talk, the way you walk, and what you're wearing at that point in time. And that's so important. So I keep telling my friends, whenever I go to meet them, I kind of put an effort to dress up a little, even if it's for a lunch or a drink.
Mm,
And they ask me, oh, Shika, are you going for are you delivering a podcast right now, or are you
yeah.
going for an executive meeting? I'm like,
Mhm.
no, I'm just ready. I just want to be ready, and I'm dressing like the way I want to. And I want to match that vision of me that I have in my head. And nobody gets it, but I understand the importance of that,
Yeah.
because I have had
Yep.
experiences in the past
Mhm.
when, and that hit me though. Again, I cannot believe that I'm saying this on the show here today, but I participated in this 5K run. It was for
Mhm.
a great cause. I had so much fun. I woke up in the morning. I went with my husband. He said, no, you do it. I'm going to just be here. I'll cheer for you. I'm like, okay, cool. I finished. I completed the run. It was for a great cause. I came back, clicked some pictures, etc. And you know how they give you a T-shirt before the
Yep.
event, and it was
Sure.
chilly. It was October
Mhm.
here in Canada, and it was a CIBC T-shirt, and CIBC is like a bank, and it was like a red T-shirt with just CIBC on it,
Mhm.
and then the event name at the back. And I was obviously wearing leggings and that t-shirt and shoes. And my husband's like, okay, let's celebrate. Let's go have brunch. And I'm like, sure, let's go have brunch. And we went to, it wasn't even a hi-fi chic place. It was a regular, normal place. And I'm standing in the line because it's super busy. It's on a weekend. And this lady comes in and she thought that I worked there,
Yeah.
just because of how I was there that time. And that actually hit me. I'm like, yeah, she's
Mhm.
right in, that's how it is. That's how
Yeah.
it's in Canada. Usually people who are working for certain institutions and certain places are, students who've immigrated from different parts of the world.
Mhm.
And it was not a fault of hers, but he made fun of me and I started laughing. And I felt bad too after a while. But then
Yeah.
that stuck in my head. I'm like, okay, if it just was a
Right.
simple brunch place, imagine how much people
Yeah.
are judging you during your projects at your workplace when you're delivering a talk or anything. So
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because I often do an exercise in my workshops where I actually put pictures up of people, random pictures, stock photographs, and I ask people a series of questions about what their best guess is for these
Mm,
people. Like, what do they do for a living? Where would they live if they lived in the Lower Mainland? What kind of car do they drive? Who do they date? Are they married? Like, what's their level of intelligence? What's their level of schooling? And everybody has a guess. And I can tell you, I've done this exercise for a long time
yeah.
now. I have thousands of responses, and almost all the responses are identical. Now, people will try to resist it,
Yeah.
and they get mad when I make this explicit, because a lot of the times those things are subconscious. And I want people to understand that those judgments are not malicious in any way.
Correct. Correct.
Hopefully. I mean, yes, there are places where it's malicious judgment, but a lot of those judgments just come from someone's past experience. So when
Yes.
that woman is judging you and thinking you work there, that's just based on her experience of, oh, someone at this restaurant wears leggings and a t-shirt, and that's what I thought.
Right.
And sometimes people just think you look like you're in charge. I get that sometimes on the street. I get asked for directions when I
Ooh.
am in a strange city. I'm like, I don't live here. I just look like I know where I'm going. So there is that. Like it's beyond your clothing. It's also your attitude
Yeah.
and what you bring to the table. So when I tell people about the judgment piece, it's like, I'm not telling you this judgment piece, this scientific judgment piece to scare you or to make you feel bad. That's not the purpose. The purpose is for you to understand how those subconscious reactions can benefit you or harm you,
Yes.
depending on the situation that you're in. And it's a little bit like if you're an accountant, you need to know math. If
Yeah.
you're a baker, it would be a good idea if you were acquainted with flour and yeast, right?
Correct.
And so this is just another tool in your toolkit that you can utilize to help people understand you faster
Yeah.
and to help make your communication easier and to smooth the way between you and other people and help them to understand. And as someone who is a challenger, I definitely have struggled with this over the years because there's certainly a ton of judgment in my industry from other
Right.
consultants and from, I mean, it's just they're paid to help people improve their appearance. And so there can be a lot of judgment. And I really struggle with that for a long time because I don't believe that that should be true. I definitely believe in the person.
Yeah.
And I also want your wrapping to be as beautifully reflective of you as it can possibly be.
Yeah. Agreed. Wow. Beautiful thoughts, beautiful tips and ideas, Catherine. I love it. I love it. I want to ask you though, in your experience, what has been the most common issue that a lot of working professionals have that they haven't yet identified about themselves, but you're like, how can you not see this about you? What was that biggest thing or
Uh,
the most
hide.
common
I
thing?
think the biggest thing that I see in my work is people hiding out and being afraid to step into who they really are. So they hide out
Mm,
in their credentials, they get more courses, they buy more education, they
yes.
take on more projects, they try to buy more titles, and they don't understand that the way you become really present in the workplace and you get seen in the workplace is by being completely present with yourself. So the people that have a hard time, they're not really comfortable with themselves. They're not, and I want to say not confident, but I mean, confidence comes from self-efficacy, right? Like doing what you say you'll do and keeping your word and like following through on your commitments and things like that. But I think the biggest thing is just people not realizing that the way they're coming across is not representative of who they really are. Like their skills are
Mm,
really great, Their work ethic is amazing, but nobody sees that part.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part. So people sell themselves short a lot. And I hear a lot of self-deprecation in the guise of humility.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not more special than anyone else, and no one is more special than you. And no one is more special than you.
Correct.
So you can ditch the humility part, because it's not like, unless you're an arrogant jerk, which very few people in my experience are arrogant jerks.
Yeah.
Very few people are completely unaware of themselves in that way.
Right.
And I think sometimes we err, particularly women, have been conditioned to err a little bit too far onto the be humble side and give credit everywhere else and not take credit. And I think there are some different ways of leadership and governing that we could see that would actually be more beneficial for us as a community.
Oh, I agree.
Mhm.
You've just hit on the spot. I love this topic. That was actually one of my very first episodes on this podcast
Mhm.
a couple of years ago when I started it was self-deprecation. And I have actually started practicing it not just with me, but with others too, because
Mhm.
especially at the workplace, I cannot imagine people who've been in the industry for 20 plus years will still hesitate to take credit for something huge
Yeah.
that they've done on projects. And I don't get that anymore. I'm
Yeah.
like, please just take credit.
And I think people think that that's bragging,
Yeah.
when in actual fact, it's just simply honest. Yes, I
Yeah.
did this thing. And people are very, or not everyone, many people are very uncomfortable with accepting compliments.
Yes.
And I look at that and I go, well, when you compliment somebody, you genuinely are admiring something that they do.
Yeah.
And every time someone turns it away, it diminishes the value of the compliment. And you
Right.
love to give compliments. And people are like, yeah. I'm like, then why are you denying the person who's complimenting you the pleasure of giving you a compliment?
True.
And it's the same way with help. Like, people don't want to ask for help. I'm like, but you love to be asked for help. They're like, oh yeah, I love to help people. I'm like, great. So then when you ask for help, you give the opportunity to someone else to help and feel amazing about themselves.
Correct. I
Right.
agree.
So it's this
Um,
idea of like, take credit and
yeah,
enjoy when you get a compliment. Enjoy it.
exactly. And then just don't shy away. Like you don't have to take 20 minutes of the meeting saying what you did, but at
Right.
least take 2 minutes or
Mhm.
5 minutes to say exactly what you did. No over exaggeration, just be open. Because that's one thing that I've noticed. A lot of my team members, they are so shy. Like
Mhm.
people will wake up in the morning, stay, logged in after hours just to do something because they don't want to be that person. Oh, this was held because of this person and because they couldn't
Mhm.
finish it. And so they do that, but the next day when the client is asking them, okay, what have you done, there's nothing to show. There's nothing. All of these things are happening in the background, and I'm like, why can't you not say it? Like, just say it. Just say that you've done, like, you logged in early, you spent extra amount of hours, accomplished that task within that time, that and that deadline,
Mhm.
and just show it. Like if she's asking for, you know, tasks on a board, or if she's asking for a report or a document, just add everything in it. And they're like, oh, but that's fine. That's okay. Now it's done. And
Hang on.
I don't get that.
I have to ask a clarifying question. Are you saying when someone goes in and picks up the slack for someone else who dropped the ball, that they should take the
No,
credit?
just
Or
their
is it someone
own
else who's
work.
just, yeah, yeah, okay, great. Because I'm also thinking, like, on a team, you want to be careful not to throw anybody under the bus,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If you have to take credit for something, oh, well, so and so didn't do it, so I did it.
I,
That's not a cool move, obviously.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. Okay. Yes. If you did some extra work, it's important to say, yeah, I just came in early to make sure it would get done because I knew we were under a tight deadline. Like,
Yeah.
that's great.
Exactly. And I want to ask you, Catherine.
Yeah.
So now that you mentioned what you don't like or what you've noticed the most in people
Mhm.
about themselves, what do you suggest to them? What's like two basic strategies that you give them right off the bat when you notice that, oh, they're just so, they don't take compliments, they don't do this. And what are
Right.
the true strategies that you tell
The,
them right
the
off the bat?
the first piece with people is always awareness.
Mm,
So the first strategy that I give them is notice and name. So you notice that something's happening. Oh, I noticed I didn't take credit for that. And then you just say it out loud, either to yourself, or you can say it out loud. You're like, oh, I noticed this. I notice this. I notice this. So you notice what's happening,
Okay.
because awareness is huge. And sometimes I get people to like keep track of how many times they notice something, because even that little practice can
Goes a long way.
just blow your mind.
Yes.
You're like, wow, I noticed I didn't take credit for that. I noticed I didn't take credit for that. Oh, I noticed that over the past week, I did not take credit for something 35 times. That's a lot of credit that I didn't take. And I'm wondering what's happening there. So awareness is always the first with anything.
Okay.
Whether it's not accepting compliments, or it's not taking credit, or it's, you're saying something mean to yourself in the mirror, or whatever it is. It's like notice and name is the first best strategy. Say it out loud. And then once you notice that that's happening and you say it out loud, so you're it's like, this is the thing that's happening. Then the next tool that I always give people is reframe automatically. So let's say, for example, let's talk about like negative self-talk, because that's a huge issue for people. And first thing I also say, like, now I've said 6 things, so maybe it's not the first thing, but like 10 things. The thing about negative self-talk is self-deprecation is not good fuel. Self-affirmation is great fuel. If someone is in the habit of deprecating themselves, then they do the notice and name. Oh, I noticed that I said something bad about myself. I noticed what a dummy. Right? That was so stupid. So I noticed that. So the reframe is, this is a great learning opportunity. Oh, I made a mistake. Awesome. I have an opportunity to grow. Right? Or even if it's something physical, like let's say somebody's like, like curly haired women. Oh my God, I hate my curly hair. It never does what I want it to. It's a mess. No, I hate my hair. It's like, oh, okay, well, what does your hair do for you? And they're like, so can you think of something functional as opposed to aesthetic? And they're like, well, my hair covers my head. I'm like, great, keeps your head warm. Start there. Right. So the reframe is like taking what it is and seeing if you can reverse it, or at least you can get a step closer to something affirmative, right? Just kind of working your way into it. It is a skill. If you've been used to self-deprecation, it will take some time to rewire. It will take some attention.
Yes.
And that's the only way that things change. And it feels hard at first, because your body is just busy trying to maintain the status quo. Like your nervous system, your whole body is just designed to stay safe and survive. So it is not going to want to expend any extra calories or any extra energy on changing a belief. So one of the things that I use in my practice that I learned from my mentor, Kate Northrup, is nervous system healing tools. So that's somatic practices that actually signal safety to your body, so that basically it says to your body, okay, there are no bears. You can use the calories from breakfast to change this belief, right? And it's actually like there's somatic, like, like havening is one of them, for example, where you just literally do this and breathe and concentrate on like first, like the touching hand, like what is the touching hand feeling? And then what is the touched hand feeling?
Oh,
So it's presencing, like getting yourself back into your body.
nice.
Like is a big piece as well in terms of regulation. So signal safety, rewire the brain, signal safety, and that helps your brain change more gently. Can't really think your way into change, even though people like to say that that's the case. Your body has to be part of that equation, right? Modern society, and particularly religion, has been negligent, I think, or well, I don't think it was negligent. I think it was deliberate, right? In disconnecting people from their bodies. But 85% of your information comes from your body to your brain, not the other way around.
Right.
So if you are running around with just paying attention only to your mind and not paying attention to your body, you're losing out on a wealth of information that your body can give you.
Correct.
So it's very important for people to start getting used to getting back in their bodies. And that can feel really scary for some people, like particularly if you've had trauma, if you were assaulted at any time or abused at any time, being in your body and being still can feel super threatening. So you have to be very, very gentle and work your way into it. But in all my work now, I include body-based work in everything in order to help people change more effectively and feel better about it as they go.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Katherine. This was awesome. Before we end the show, is there anything that you would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
What would I like to share other than what I've already shared? I think the most important thing for your viewers and listeners to know is that there's nothing wrong with you. You are inherently worthy. You arrived here good. Don't let anyone, no religion, no parent, no politician, no nobody tell you that you aren't inherently good, and work from that as a baseline, because you are, and you deserve to shine, and you deserve to do whatever it is you're meant to do on the planet, and you deserve to learn whatever it is you came here to learn. So there's nothing wrong with you.
Love it. Love it. Great suggestion. Great advice. Thank you so much, Catherine. It was a pleasure having you on our show with us. And thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule for me.
Yeah, me too. I always have fun on interviews. It's great.
All right. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in for today's episode of Rise and Tell with Sheekha. My book, Unburnable Ambition, is all about how to chase your biggest goals without losing yourself to burnout. You can now sign up at shekhasingh.com/unburnable ambition. Until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, and be yourself, and keep your ambition unburnable. Thank you.